Have you ever felt strange for achieving everything they said was important, and still waking up with an invisible weight on your chest? The salary is in your account, the bills are paid, maybe there's even a little left over to travel, shop, consume. But inside, something remains unsettled, as if there's a void that money can't fill. We live in an age where financial security has become synonymous with success. But in our pursuit of stability at all costs, could we be quietly trading away what gives our existence meaning? Perhaps we are safer from the outside world, but increasingly distant from ourselves. Would you like this translated version adapted for a more poetic or persuasive tone? You probably know someone like this. Someone with a good job, a comfortable home, maybe even a brand new car. Someone who followed all the rules and did everything right. They studied, worked hard, saved, invested. Financial security finally arrived. But strangely, this person, who seems to have won the game, is always tired, disconnected, staring into the void at the end of the day, as if something essential was lost along the way. This is the new silent poverty of our time. It's not the lack of money, but the lack of meaning. A kind of emotional misery that doesn't show up on bank statements, but reveals itself in empty conversations, constant anxiety, and the inability to be truly present. It's the void that emerges when we spend our lives trying to avoid failure, but never stop to ask what it really means to succeed. We're surrounded by stories of financial success that read more like survival manuals. Work, pay the bills, reach the long-awaited financial freedom. But what few admit is that, upon reaching that freedom, many realize they no longer know what to do with it. Security has been achieved. Now what? The absence of worry turns into an absence of direction. Life becomes a comfortable, yet soulless cycle. The problem isn't money itself, nor the pursuit of stability. Both are necessary. The problem lies in the illusion that these things alone will be enough. We're led to believe that once we have enough, everything will fall into place. But what happens when enough arrives, and the emptiness remains? When every step of the ladder has been climbed, yet it feels like it led nowhere. This disconnection is more common than it seems. Successful executives in therapy, stable professionals in existential crises, young adults who reached financial independence early, and now face a deafening silence when they ask themselves, why? The absence of purpose quietly begins to erode the foundations of life. What was supposed to be freedom turns into a prison. The real collapse doesn't happen when money runs out. It happens when direction does. When the heart no longer finds meaning in financial goals, because it was never taught to seek anything beyond them. This is the poverty of purpose, a state where everything seems to be in its place, except you. We live in an era where a human being's worth has been confused with their bank statement. From an early age, we're taught that success is an equation of effort and financial return, and that the higher you climb this ladder, the more deserving you become of respect, love, and belonging. Society has turned money into a measure of personal value, not just as a tool for exchange, but as a seal of existential validation. And so, we begin to measure our dignity through revenue goals, job promotions, and monthly income. The problem? That ruler never measures what truly matters. By internalizing this logic, we end up reducing life to a system of goals and financial milestones. Work to buy to belong, belong to feel like we exist. But the human being wasn't born to be just a task executor or a collector of things. We are creatures of meaning. And when we let the market define who we are, we break away from our essence. The cost is high. Comfortable lives on the outside, but deeply fragmented within. It's as if we're always running, without really knowing where to. Nietzsche once said, "He who has a why can endure anyhow." But what happens when the why gets lost along the way? When everything we do is driven by external expectations, the how becomes automatic routine, and the why vanishes. Money, which should be a means to create freedom and meaning, turns into an end in itself. And upon reaching that end, many realize what they were seeking wasn't wealth, it was purpose. But purpose can't be bought. It must be built, cultivated. And it doesn't arise from your bank balance, but from the silent truth that lives within each of us. Maybe you've felt this on a Monday morning. The alarm goes off, you get up, have coffee, follow the routine. The job isn't bad, the salary is fair, and no one is yelling at you. But there's a quiet discomfort deep in your soul, a whisper asking, is this all there is? You keep delivering, producing, answering emails, receiving praise for your competence. But everything starts to feel mechanical, like you're playing a role that no longer reflects who you are. What was supposed to be a stable life now feels like a prison disguised as comfort. Maybe you know someone who decided to change everything, even though they had what many people envy. An executive who quit, a doctor who left her clinic to write, an engineer who became a public school teacher. The reaction is always the same: shock, judgment, unease. As if giving up security for something that seems like less in the world's eyes, but feels right to the soul, is unthinkable. These people aren't crazy, they're awake. They realized that success without meaning is just a sophisticated form of boredom. Or maybe you are living a silent conflict, trying to reconcile your spreadsheet of goals with that old dream you've buried. Whether it's painting, caring for others, traveling the world, or building something of your own. But it never seems like the right time, because fear's logic says it's better to secure just a bit more, wait one more year, accumulate more safety. Meanwhile, life goes by, and purpose, if not lived, withers. The truth is, money can buy time, but it can't buy direction. And without direction, even the most comfortable path can become unbearable. In the end, true poverty isn't the lack of money. It's the absence of a purpose that makes us get out of bed with a heart that feels alive. Financial security can protect us from external chaos, but it will never be enough to fill the emptiness of a life without meaning. And that's where many people get lost. They achieve everything the world said was important, but forget to ask what's truly important to themselves. Living isn't just about accumulating. Living is about aligning with what makes your soul come alive, even if that doesn't fit into the conventional mold of success. If you felt like this video spoke to something deep inside you, something that may have been silent for a long time, then I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Here, we talk about money, yes, but we also talk about soul, choices, and what it means to be human. Because financial education without purpose is just another way to postpone life. And you deserve a life that's not just safe, but meaningful.